Hey guys, welcome to my office. Today I'm going to take you through some details that will expand on everything you've already learned through the Apex Diet class. What I want to do today is give you some easy to follow guidelines to help keep you moving along. And rather than a rule, it's a guideline. It is not to say that this is how things should be done. It is to say that this is how things could be done. And these are the things that have helped a lot of other people lose weight. So I believe they'll be valuable to you when you begin to feed it into what that bigger picture is. So the first thing I want to talk about real quick is going to be what our overall goal is. We want to expand your metabolic rate. We want your body to burn more calories overall through a stretch of time. We accomplish this through a couple of ways, but the most important way we do it is we're going to add muscle tissue. The note I'd like you to make right now is that for the average person is going to be able to add muscle mass fairly slowly. It is not a fast process. Don't pay no attention to things you may have said. You may have read before about people talking about they gain 20 or 30 pounds of muscle mass in a couple of weeks. Not actually. That's not what happens. For most of the ladies, you will be able to gain 1 pound of muscle mass, and remember, it's going to be going on across your whole body at a rate of between 4 to 9 weeks, depending on a lot of factors. Two of the factors is how are you training and how are you resting. One of the other big factors is how are you eating. All right, for gentlemen, it might be slightly faster depending on your age. The other thing we have to account for though is you know, how much do you actually need to go back on? So for some of you, the way you've been training for a while is your body's already adjusted to what you're doing. You're going to need to break things up. You're going to need to move what hasn't moved. All right, and we'll cover that in another session. We want your body fat to go down. We are not as interested in seeing a person's scale weight go to any particular spot as much as we are seeing you change up the total composition of your body. For most of you, what we want to see, if you're male, is going to be between the range of 15% and 18% body fat. For women, it's going to be between 22 and 25. Now, what I need you to understand is that your body fat percentage and your body composition is not so much centered on genetics as people would want to tell you. Most of you, it's 100% behavior, and you know that's true. So what I want you to do is when you really evaluate your body fat and your body composition, I want you to understand that what we really want is we want to reduce the amount of body fat on your body. We're not so worried about the scale weight. It's so critical to understand. Okay, macros. Here's going to be a couple of easy numbers for you to start with. For your protein daily, I'm going to move this real quick. I would like you guys between 100 and 130 grams a day. Between 100 and 130 grams of protein per day. That's going to depend on your height, it's going to depend on your age and your activity. Contact me specifically if you'd like to know the variables for you and your body. For your fiber intake, 20 grams a day. Right? That is an important number to hit. Many of the people you know who have gone on to have these health problems as they've gotten older, you can see the impact throughout their body, throughout their abdominal, of having too much that stays. They're not moving foods through their body, especially for people whose diets are very, very heavy in these carbohydrates. A lot of that doesn't have bulk. It's very fluffy. It stays inside you. We need to get that out of you. Carbohydrates, 5 out of 7 days a week, and variable on what days those are. I want you to shoot for 50 grams or less. Key rule on that, your fiber intake doesn't count against your carb count. So you may have had 20 grams of fiber that day. That doesn't mean you're only left with 30 grams of carbohydrates. We're looking for the net carbohydrates. Contact me if you need to know what that means. Water, 8 to 10 cups a day. Now people ask, how big is a cup? How big is the cup you're willing to drink is my first question. I'm not so much worried about the number of ounces per body weight because I'm a realist. I know that people are not going to go measure out their water every single day and drink it. They'll do a bunch of other goofy things, but they won't do that. So instead, what I want you to focus on is just behaviorally. You wake up in the morning, there's your first cup of water. Before you even leave the house, I want you to have breakfast. So, you know, most people have a cup of water for breakfast. You get to the office, you get to work, wherever your work center is, there's a third one during the first 2 hours. Have a cup of water with your mid-morning snack. Have one with lunch. Have one if you have a midday snack. Have one when you get home, right? Have one with dinner. Oh, there's 8. It's not that hard. I'm sure you guys can handle it. Don't make excuses why you can't drink water. How to shop. Very, very key. Every grocery store you've ever been in is set up the same way. At the front of the store, you can come in and go out. At the front of the store, there's a register where you get to give them your money. Now, what about the sides? The sides is where we stay. All right? Every grocery store you've ever been in, one of the sides of the store is all produce, fruits, vegetables, fresh things. One side of the store is a deli, a butcher shop. They're going to have fresh meats, cold meats, things like that. Generally speaking, not packaged. One side's going to be your eggs, your dairy, your, where your butters, your milks, all these different things. This is where I want you to do your grocery shopping. Very, very simple. Your grocery cart should have a lot more things in it that do not have labels. All right, you know what I mean? Stickers, big sheets of what kind of ingredients are in it. I really would like a lot of you to first make a move towards more real food. All right, now, before you come up with all your excuses on why you can't eat real food, do this for 50 days and contact me and let me know if you like what's happening with your body. All right, where do we start with when you start eating? I talked about in a session an order for laying out meals, but what I'd like you to think about is when we get to actually setting out your portions. Protein, then your fiber, then your fats, then everything else. So when you're building out your meals, do I have enough protein? Whatever your protein source is going to be. It might be animal, it might be plant. Then it's going to be our fiber source. What is the fiber source in the meal? What vegetables do we have in the meal? And then finally, what fats do you have in the meal? Go through, prioritize those ones first, all right, and fit into these macros. Learn to play this game. You're going to be finding that for most of you, you're actually eating more food than you have been in the past. You're going to be feeling a lot better. When you put good food in your body, you're not going to want the same junky food that you may have been living on recently. All right, we're going to change that order up. Our 3 questions. How do I feel? How do I feel is one of the most important questions for you to be able to answer. It's also the question that most adults seem to struggle with. How you feel is the #1 factor of what you can do. Your state, then your skills. So how you feel is going to let you know what is your actual range of things to do. And save whatever martyr talk you have for yourself. You're not a hero, you know what I mean? Your life's not so much harder than anyone else. How do you feel right now? That's what you can do. Let's stay right there. What can I do? This is what you can actually do based on how you feel and what is actually right around you. This is one of the biggest areas that people seem to have problems. When you understand what you can do, you'll understand what you can scale. Because most of the time, if you can't do this thing, you can probably do something underneath it. For example, I would love to go on vacation this weekend to the Caribbean. I cannot do that, but I'll tell you what I can do. I can research what the cost would be to go to a Caribbean. I can look around, I can determine who would I need to call, what do I need to schedule with, how much money do I need to create, what activities do I want to go. You see, all of those things get me closer to being able to do it, right? So we can use that in every example that you have. You want to be able to work out, but you can't do it right now because you're at work. And you know you need to move around. What can you do? Can you go for a walk? And before you say you can't go for a walk, sure you can go for a walk. Why wouldn't you be able to go for a walk? If your kid was sick, you'd get up and walk out to go make a phone call, right? Same thing. If you can, you can. And if you can't, you can't. Key thing. Final question, what can I do to feel better now? And for most of you, I need you to understand that what you can do to feel better also goes back in that first question. So whatever you do will equal being able to do more. All right? And this is where a lot of you are going to learn better resolution mechanisms. If I feel bad and I eat ice cream, do I feel better after the ice cream? Most of you know the answer, no. No, most of you are going to, if you have something like ice cream when you feel bad, now you feel worse, guilt, shame, all this other shit, because you had the ice cream. So what if instead you feel bad, you do something that makes you feel better? And then you'll find you may not even want the ice cream. Then you'll find you may not even want to sit down and watch Netflix for 6 hours or play video games all day or whatever your thing is that you're doing, rather than doing what you know you need to be doing. All right? Finally, 4 orders for meals. This is a part that I just can't share enough with you. If we look at every meal that you've ever had, we can say that there comes out to a ratio of sameness and variety. What I want you to consider, the more that your diet moves to variety, the more your body will change. All right, and this is a key thing. Do the same, stay the same, do different, become different. So there's an order for meals. Number one, can I have something that I've never had before? Can I have something new to me? What you'll discover is if you really apply yourself and you look around your environment, talk to people you know, that there's actually always something new to try. The weekend that I was in Minnesota with y'all, I stayed at a friend's house, and during my time that weekend, I had at least 4 or 5 things I've never had before in my entire life. His wife cooks completely different things than what I make, right? So our first priority, things that are new to me. If you think there's nothing left for you that's new to have, you're just wrong. There's tons of things that are new. Number 2, I haven't had it like that before. That's the next thing I want you looking for. Whenever you have an option, can you have something that you have not, assuming you cannot have something brand new to you, is there a way to have something prepared in a way you haven't had? And that's usually pretty easy, especially nowadays with websites like Pinterest, Facebook, there's only 10,000 recipes being shared all the time, right? It's always an option for you to be able to locate some way to make something a new way, and that's your second priority. Your third way is something that I have not had in a while. This is going to help you keep your diet growing over time. Something new gets added in. Later on at some point you'll realize I haven't had that in a while. Maybe it's time to check that and throw that back in. So remember, the game I want you to play is expanding the number of items in your diet from month to month. If you only eat 30 things per month now, it means that you have a lot of sameness. If we could make that 30 into a 70, we'd reduce the sameness. So that would breed to more change. And our final priority is, can I do anything else different? Can I pair things differently? Can I season anything differently? Can I have it in a different room of the house? Can I be at a different restaurant? What can I do differently with this meal than previous ones? So it's a game of finding more variety. Guys, I want you to look these notes over. Contact me with your individual questions on how it relates to you. I will tell you right now that every single one of you has the option to be able to change your body composition in whatever direction you want it to go. Once you learn that there is no easy shortcut, you're going to have to be responsible for yourself. Like once that really clicks, you're responsible for your own weight 100%. I'll be able to show you ways to make it so easy to then put the new behaviors in to make that happen. All right? But you need to understand, it's not your parents' fault, not anymore. It's not society's fault. It's not advertising's fault. It is your responsibility what you're going to do with your body. Whatever has happened to you in life, it's already happened. Doesn't matter. What can we do to build you up? That's what I want you focused on. So quit looking back, start looking forward, and let's make those pounds come off.